Akashvani, and I'm Naresh Mago with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Chandrayaan-3 is a living example of women power, with several women scientists and engineers directly involved in the mission. In his Mann Ki Baat program, Prime Minister says India has made G20 more inclusive forum during its presidency. Addressing the B20 Summit, Prime Minister says India is now a trusted and efficient global supply chain partner. Mr. Modi says India has become the face of Industry 4.0 revolution. Government introduces additional safeguards to prevent exports of non-Basmati white rice. At least 8 people killed in a blast at illegal cracker factory in North 24 Parganas district of West Bengal. And India to take on Thailand in Women's Asian Hockey 5S World Cup Qualifier in Salalah, Oman this afternoon. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that Mission Chandrayaan has become a symbol of the spirit of New India, which wants to win in any situation and knows how to win. He said today the country's dreams are big and its efforts are also big. Addressing the nation in his Mann Ki Baat program on Akashvani today, the Prime Minister lauded the successful mission of Chandrayaan-3, saying that India has proved on the 23rd of this month that some sons of resolve rise on the moon as well.
मेरे परिवारजन 23 अगस्त को भारत ने और भारत के चंद्रयान ने ये साबित कर दिया है कि संकल्प के कुछ सूरज चांद पर भी उगते हैं। मिशन चंद्रयान नए भारत के उस स्पिरिट का प्रतीक बन गया है जो हर हाल में जीतना चाहता है और हर हाल में जीतना जानता भी है।
Stressing on women-led development, the Prime Minister said that where the might of women's power is added, the impossible can also be made possible. Mr. Modi highlighted that Mission Chandrayaan is also a live example of women power, as so many women scientists and engineers are directly involved in this mission.
भारत का मिशन चंद्रयान नारी शक्ति का भी जीवंत उदाहरण है। इस पूरे मिशन में अनेकों विमेन साइंटिस्ट और इंजीनियर्स सीधे तौर पर जुड़ी रही हैं। इन्होंने अलग अलग सिस्टम्स के प्रोजेक्ट डायरेक्टर, प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर ऐसी कई अहम जिम्मेदारियां संभाली हैं। भारत की बेटियां अब अनंत समझे जाने वाले अंतरिक्ष को भी चुनौती दे रही हैं। किसी देश की बेटियां जब इतनी आकांक्षी हो जाए तो उसे उस देश को विकसित बनने से भला कौन रोक सकता है?
Speaking about the G20 Leaders Summit, which is scheduled to be organized in New Delhi on the 9th and 10th of next month, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said India is fully prepared for the summit. He mentioned that the heads of 40 countries and several global organizations will participate in this event, which will be the biggest participation ever in the history of the G20 summit. He emphasized that India has made G20 a more inclusive forum during its presidency, as the African Union also joined the forum and the voice of the people of Africa reached the world. Talking about the success of the G20 events, the Prime Minister said that delegates were very impressed seeing the diversity of India and its vibrant democracy.
G20 delegates जहां भी गए वहां लोगों ने गर्मजोशी से उनका स्वागत किया। ये डेलीगेट्स हमारे देश की डाइवर्सिटी देखकर, हमारी वाइब्रेंट डेमोक्रेसी देखकर बहुत ही प्रभावित हुए। उन्हें ये भी एहसास हुआ कि भारत में कितनी सारी संभावनाएं हैं।
Terming India's G20 presidency a people's presidency, Mr. Modi said the spirit of public participation is at the forefront. He said more than 1.50 crore people are associated with the events being organized across the country. Mr. Modi highlighted the success of the G20 quiz held in Varanasi and the Sari Walkathon in Surat.
जन भागीदारी की हमारी इस कोशिश में एक ही नहीं बल्कि दो विश्व रिकॉर्ड भी बन गए हैं। वाराणसी में हुई G20 क्विज में 800 स्कूलों के 1.25 लाख स्टूडेंट्स की भागीदारी एक नया विश्व रिकॉर्ड बन गया। वहीं लंबानी कारीगरों ने भी कमाल कर दिया। 450 कारीगरों ने करीब 1800 यूनिक पैचेज का आश्चर्यजनक कलेक्शन बनाकर अपने हुनर और क्राफ्ट्समैनशिप का परिचय दिया है। ऐसा ही एक शानदार कार्यक्रम सूरत में आयोजित किया गया। वहां हुए साड़ी वॉकाथॉन में 15 राज्यों की 15,000 महिलाओं ने हिस्सा लिया।
Talking about the success achieved by the country's athletes during the World University Games in China, he said India displayed its best ever performance in the games by winning 26 medals, including 11 gold medals.
आपको ये जानकर अच्छा लगेगा कि 1959 से लेकर अब तक जितने वर्ल्ड यूनिवर्सिटी गेम्स हुए हैं उनमें जीते सभी मेडल्स को जोड़ दें तो भी ये संख्या 18 तक ही पहुंचती है। इतने दशकों में सिर्फ 18, जबकि इस बार हमारे खिलाड़ियों ने 26 मेडल जीत लिए।
Prime Minister Modi also talked about the collective efforts of all the countrymen in turning the Har Ghar Tiranga Abhiyan into a Har Man Tiranga Abhiyan. He said many records were made during this campaign as the countrymen purchased crores of tricolors. He said this time the countrymen have created a new record in posting selfies with the tricolor.
तिरंगे के साथ सेल्फी पोस्ट करने में भी इस बार देशवासियों ने नया रिकॉर्ड बना दिया। पिछले साल 15 अगस्त तक करीब 5 करोड़ देशवासियों ने तिरंगे के साथ सेल्फी पोस्ट की थी। इस साल ये संख्या 10 करोड़ को भी पार कर गई।
The Prime Minister also talked about the Meri Mati Mera Desh campaign. He said in the next month there will be a campaign to collect soil from every house in every village of the country, and the holy soil of the country will be deposited in thousands of Amrit Kalash urns. He said Amrit Vatika will be built in Delhi from the soil.
देश की पवित्र मिट्टी हजारों अमृत कलश में जमा की जाएगी। अक्टूबर के अंत में हजारों अमृत कलश यात्रा के साथ देश की राजधानी दिल्ली पहुंचेंगे। इस मिट्टी से ही दिल्ली में अमृत वाटिका का निर्माण होगा। मुझे विश्वास है हर देशवासी का प्रयास इस अभियान को भी सफल बनाएगा।
In his address, the Prime Minister also extended his greetings on the occasion of World Sanskrit Day. He said this time he received many letters in the Sanskrit language, and the reason for this is that on the Purnima of the month of Sawan, the World Sanskrit Day is being celebrated.
संस्कृत दुनिया की सबसे प्राचीन भाषाओं में से एक है। इसे कई आधुनिक भाषाओं की जननी भी कहा जाता है। संस्कृत अपनी प्राचीनता के साथ साथ अपनी वैज्ञानिकता और व्याकरण के लिए भी जानी जाती है। भारत का कितना ही प्राचीन ज्ञान हजारों वर्षों तक संस्कृत भाषा में ही संरक्षित किया गया है। योग, आयुर्वेद और फिलोसफी जैसे विषयों पर रिसर्च करने वाले लोग अब ज्यादा से ज्यादा संस्कृत सीख रहे हैं। मुझे खुशी है कि आज लोगों में संस्कृत को लेकर जागरूकता और गर्व का भाव बढ़ा है।
Prime Minister Modi also congratulated the people on the occasion of Telugu Day, which will be celebrated on the 29th of this month. He said many priceless gems of Indian culture are hidden in the Telugu literature and language.
तेलुगु भाषा के साहित्य और विरासत में भारतीय संस्कृति के कई अनमोल रत्न छिपे हैं। तेलुगु की इस विरासत का लाभ पूरे देश को मिले, इसके लिए कई प्रयास भी किए जा रहे हैं।
This is Akashvani giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that India is now a trusted and efficient global supply chain partner. Addressing the B20 Summit India in New Delhi today, Mr. Modi referred to supply chain issues during the pandemic.
By focusing on supply chain resilience and sustainability, I'm sure that the B20 Summit has paved the way for a collective transformation. Let us remember that a connected world is not just about connection through technology. It is not only about shared social platforms, but also about our shared purpose, shared planet, shared prosperity, and shared future.
Mr. Modi said when the world needed medicines during the COVID pandemic, India, as the pharmacy of the world, provided life-saving drugs to more than 150 countries. Prime Minister Modi emphasized that we have to largely focus on building mutual trust, which was destroyed during the pandemic. He highlighted that in an atmosphere of mistrust, the country which is standing in front of the world with full sensitivity, carrying the flag of faith, is India. He recalled that during COVID, India supplied medicines to over 150 nations. The Prime Minister said that India has become the face of the digital revolution at the time of Industry 4.0.
आज भारत इंडस्ट्री 4.0 के इस दौर में डिजिटल रिवॉल्यूशन का चेहरा बना हुआ है। भारत के साथ जितनी आपकी दोस्ती मजबूत होगी, उतनी ही समृद्धि दोनों को मिलेगी। Business can transform potential into prosperity, obstacles into opportunities, aspirations into achievements. Whether they are small or big, global or local, business can ensure progress for everyone.
Making a strong pitch for a more diversified and more democratic re-globalization, the External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar said the endeavor now is to seek re-globalization where there would be multiple centers of production, not just of consumption. Addressing the B20 Summit in New Delhi this morning, he said that Global South can no longer be at the mercy of a few suppliers. He said Global South is largely reduced to being a consumer rather than being a producer and could not reap the full benefits of economic change. Dr. Jaishankar said Global South not only did not reap the full benefits of economic change, but often ended up saddled with unviable debts emanating from opaque initiatives. He said this was a gradually unfolding crisis in the making, but it was accelerated rapidly by the multiple shocks of debt, COVID, and conflict. As part of India's G20 presidency, the second G20 Chief Scientific Advisors Roundtable meeting will begin in Gandhinagar this afternoon. Science advisors, scientists, researchers from G20 countries and invited countries will participate in the meeting. Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India, Ajay K. Sood, will address the meeting tomorrow. Formal deliberations will also be held tomorrow. 4 sessions on themes such as opportunities in One Health, synergizing global efforts to expand the access to scholarly scientific knowledge, diversity, equity, and accessibility in science and technology, and institutional mechanism for inclusive global S&T policy dialogue will be held tomorrow. The government has introduced additional safeguards to prevent exports of non-Basmati white rice through misclassification as basmati rice. To check the domestic prices and to ensure domestic food security, the government has been taking measures to restrict export of rice from India. The export of non-basmati white rice was prohibited on 20th July 2023. It has been noticed that despite the restriction on certain varieties, rice exports have been higher during the current year. In West Bengal, at least 8 people were killed and 5 others injured after a massive blast was reported at an illegal firecracker factory in North 24 Parganas, Dattapukur, barely 3 kilometers away from the West Bengal State University. The explosion happened at around 10 a.m. when several people were working in the factory. According to sources, the roof of the building was completely blown away and charred bodies of the victims landed on roads 50 to 100 meters away. The entire area has been cordoned off by the police. India will take on Thailand today in their final league match of the Women's Asian Hockey 5S World Cup Qualifier at Salalah in Oman. India and Thailand are unbeaten in the elite pool. Indian women's side are at the top of the elite pool with 14 goals, while Thailand have scored 13 goals in the World Cup Qualifier. Yesterday, the Indian women's hockey team recorded a 7-1 win against Japan in the Asian Hockey 5S World Cup Qualifier at Salalah. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Chandrayaan 3 is a living example of women power, with several women scientists and engineers directly involved in the mission. In his Mann Ki Baat program, Prime Minister says India has made G20 more inclusive forum during its presidency. Addressing B20 Summit, Prime Minister says India is now a trusted and efficient global supply chain partner. Mr. Modi says India has become the face of Industry 4.0 revolution. Government introduces additional safeguards to prevent exports of non-Basmati white rice. At least 8 people killed in a blast at illegal cracker factory in North 24 Parganas district of West Bengal, and India to take on Thailand in Women's Asian Hockey 5S World Cup Qualifier in Salalah, Oman this afternoon. And with that, we end the midday news.